Lady Louise Windsor, the Queen's granddaughter, made a rare curtsy on Wednesday as she paid her respects to her late grandmother, the Queen, who passed away on September 8. Lady Louise joined her brother James, Viscount Severn at the service in Westminster Hall today following Her Majesty's procession from Buckingham Palace. She stood alongside her brother as their parents paid their own respects to the Queen. The pair stood in 2 rows at the side of Westminster Hall as the new king and other senior royals bowed and curtsied to the coffin. The rows included Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice and their husbands, Zara and Mike Tyndall, Lord Freddie Windsor and Princess Michael of Kent. Lady Louise watched on as her parents bowed to the Queen's coffin before, in a poignant moment, the young royal led her brother, 14, to pay their own respects in a rare moment away from their parents. During the walkabout at Balmoral on Saturday, Louise, who has previously been described as Her Majesty's favorite grandchild and a secret weapon for the royal family, spent around 10 minutes reading the tributes and admiring the flowers with her parents, before they returned inside Balmoral Castle. Over the last 2 years, Lady Louise has taken on an increasingly public role as her parents Prince Edward and the Countess of Wessex have been bumped up the royal food chain following the disgrace of Prince Andrew and the departure of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. She was front and center in the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, joined her parents at the Commonwealth Games and made her successful TV debut in a documentary about her beloved grandfather, the Duke of Edinburgh. Indeed, she has become such a well-known face that she is recognized by customers of the Garden Centre where she has been working for £6.63 per hour since finishing her A-levels in June. Unlike her older cousins, Princes William and Harry, Louise was able to see a lot more of her grandparents growing up because she has always lived just 11 miles from Windsor and had the benefit of being born around the time the Queen and Prince Philip scaled back their long-haul travel. The Queen left Buckingham Palace for the last time this morning as she was carried to Westminster Hall where she will lie in state until Monday. King Charles III led the procession behind the Queen's coffin, flanked by the late monarch's other children Princess Anne, Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. Behind the King were the Queen's grandsons in a line, Peter Phillips, the Duke of Sussex and the Prince of Wales, who were followed by the late monarch's son-in-law Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, the Duke of Gloucester, the Queen's cousin, and her nephew the Earl of Snowdon. Following the royals, members of the Commons, including the new Prime Minister, filed into Westminster Hall to honor the Queen. Westminster Hall reopened to the public shortly after 5 p.m., with a 2.5-mile-long line expected to form to see the Queen's coffin. If the queue reaches its maximum capacity, some members of the public are anticipated to wait for 30 hours. The Queen will lay in state in Westminster Hall until her state funeral on Monday, which is scheduled to begin at 11 a.m. at Westminster Abbey. The royal family has a unique connection to Westminster Abbey because it is where the Queen was coronated in 1953 and where she married Prince Philip in 1947. Heads of state from around the world will attend the ceremony, as will members of her close family and royal families from throughout Europe, many of whom are blood relations to the Queen. Following the funeral, Her Majesty will be transported to Windsor for a final family service at Windsor Castle's chapel.